Welcome back to the wasteland, where every Fallout freak has a stiffy for V8s. Kind of like the Summer Gnats, just with less inbreeding. We discover the origins of Furiosa, find out why she shaved her head, where the mechanical arm came from, and how she plays the background character of her own film in Furiosa, No Max Too Furious. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, the latest Mad Max installment without Max, directed here by George Miller. Known for directing Babe, Pig in the City, Happy Feet, and Happy Feet 2. Oh yeah, and every Mad Max movie. We learn the origins of Furiosa and where she came from. Even though it was kind of already explained in the previous film Fury Road, but hey, let's see it for ourselves. She is born in Lestopia, a green wonderland full of life, the kind of place America Chavez's parents would scissor under the stars. That is until Slipknot bikie gang intrude and try and take some horse meat from their forest. This is obviously based in a dystopian future, but if it was current day and a bikie gang had a hankering for stallion meat, all I've got to say is, the burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. No, there is no horse meat in fast food burgers. Anyway, Furiosa catches the gang in the act and they kidnap her for reasons. But Furiosa's mum is having none of it! She chases them down all the way back to their motorcycle cult leader, broken nose Aussie Thor, Dementus. He wants to know where this land of abundance is, and asks Furiosa to take him there and show him. But that's before Furiosa's mother goes all Anakin Skywalker on these sand people, which can only go well. But alas, it's not long before Furiosa is back in captivity, and Dementus takes a liking to her because she somewhat reminds him of his long-lost daughter. Then Dementus and the gang come across an injured war boy, who directs them to the Citadel, who is ruled by, you guessed it, Immortan Joe. Feeling invincible, Dementus and his bikie gang take on Immortan Joe and his army of Mongoloids, which can only go well. This is when the war between the two gangs begin. But of course, big old pasty white Joe takes a liking to Furiosa and welcomes her into the Citadel, and offering her one day when she becomes of age, she can become a breeding slave for Immortan Joe. But Furiosa's having none of it! She slips away into the night and joins the car workshop Mongoloids of the Citadel. She grows up in the shadows, hiding away, and that's when she meets Mad Max Light, who takes a shining to her like bloody everybody else. He decides to take her under his wing and mentor her, teaching her how to drive, how to shoot, and how to survive the wasteland, so that one day she can take these skills away with her and she can go back to the place where she came from as she promised her mother. It's fair to say that old Furiosa develops a bit of a lady boner for Mad Max Light, and hinting at that there's a possibility that these two may run away together. But George Miller's having none of it! Then the adrenaline cranks up, the chasers start a-chasing, and it's not long before Furiosa is back on the vengeance path. I am a big fan of the original Mad Max trilogy, and to be honest, all three Mad Max films are all very different from each other. But here in this film, of course, George Miller keeps the continuity, the look and the feel of the previous film, Fury Road. But if you're expecting a fast-paced, non-stop chase like Fury Road, you're not going to get that here. And if I'm brutally honest, I'm totally okay with that. The majority of the backlash and criticism I've kind of seen of this film is it's not like Fury Road, and I have to say, good. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Fury Road. I thought it was super entertaining and awesome, great on a big screen, but I don't think it's the absolute masterpiece that everyone raved and claimed it to be. Like it was the best thing since sliced bread. And for the record, I've got to say, I hate Tom Hardy as Max Rockatansky. And if I'm digging my heels in a little bit more, I'll say that Mad Max Light, known as Praetorian Jack in this film, makes a better Max than Tom Hardy. Hell, even the quick cameo of some stand-in dude dressed as Max next to the Interceptor on a sand dune was a better Max than Hardy. Yeah, I said it! Anya Taylor-Joy is fine here. She hardly speaks in the film and she rocks up at about almost 1 hour into the movie. But it's obvious, having her speak bugger-all dialogue, Miller's doing that mythological character that he's done with Max, where she's more of an observer and a background character to a greater world of conflict. In her own origin story, though, yeah, whatever. At least in the first Mad Max film, you know, his origin story in 1979, he was front row and centre. And speaking of which, even though this film is called Furiosa, and yes, they do tackle her backstory, it's primarily about all the other characters. And that really worked for me. Like, the war between these two big factions, I loved it. And this film does a really good job of world building. We get to see a few of the other cities that were mentioned in Fury Road. You know, places like Gastown and Bullet Farm. And the conflict between Immortan Joe and Dementus is front row and centre, and I fucking loved it. When this film does action, it does it exceptionally well. Engaging, super tense, and exciting. Yeah, there's some shonky CGI here and there, but I've got to say, it's eons better than anything we see in a modern Marvel film. I was super surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this. It was too long, I've got to say. Trim half an hour off, please. But I did found the world building and the characters interesting and engaging. And I love the laid-back parts of storytelling throughout the film. Even though, yes, it's still filmed in bright colours and full-blown HD. Of course, everyone's raving about the performance of Chris Hemsworth, and they're absolutely right. He's absolutely fantastic, chewing up all of the scenery like it's Hubba Bubba Bubblegum. He's really letting loose here, and it was an absolute pleasure to watch. And I'm not sure why this film had Fury Road scenes scattered throughout the end credits. Like, don't worry movie, we remember. But all in all, I had a lot of fun with it, and I found it very engaging. Will I watch it again? Sure, I reckon I will. However, the future of this franchise, I would love to see an old, grizzled Max go on another adventure. And yes, I want Mel bloody Gibson. Come on, Hollywood, do it, you pussies. Anyway, guys, that's my cheeky little review of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Write down below if you've seen it. What are your thoughts on it? But more importantly, what is your favourite Mad Max film installment? And of course, if you made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give it an episode weekly. And I'll see you back here next week for the next review, but until then, stay spooky, kids.